Hey gang, Bronco Carl 92 here. So we're on to, I guess, part 2 reassembly of the 4L80E with the broken output shaft. Alright, well I wasn't really planning on doing a full video on reassembling this transmission because I have a series out already. I was just going to go over a few of the finer points and actually answer a question to a viewer about how I determine clutch plates are worn or not. So let's show what we got going on. So Judge Rambo, here's the rust. Yep. Oh, that's a nice cab mount there too. All right, so down in there is the output shaft bushing. It's in the case. This is a Sonex piece. It's called an anti-walkout, and this might give you a better idea. There's actually a lip on here. So when you press the bushing in, that's as far as it goes, and that actually acts like a thrust surface, and it keeps the bushing from walking out. These are usually peened in place with the factory style one, and it's kind of a small bushing. So this one's got a lot more area on it. It actually has some grooves in it for oiling, and it's a small upgrade. So that's what we did. Okay, so anyway, so here's our reverse band that's in place already. Here's our output thrust washer. It basically fits down in there in those three slots there. It's actually flush with the with that new bushing that we put in place. Here's our output assembly here with a new thrust washer on it. It's a used part that we got. New one was over $300. The used one was $60. Just goes in there like that. Okay, next is our rear planet assembly. And our intermediate sprag. Basically just falls into place like that. Next comes our K-saver ring. Make sure you put that in the last groove. Thrust washer. And then our intermediate support and sun shaft assembly. Probably shouldn't drop it like that. Next we're going to be installing our tapered snap ring, and like I mentioned before when we took this apart, that the flat side needs to go against the support here. Just feed it down in here. So the screwdriver. Watch the edges because the housing is sharp. And that's it. That basically just drops in like that. Here's our converter return. Set that aside. reaction ring. And then our clutches. Now, a viewer was asking about the clutches. So I said that these are definitely usable again, and they're not burnt. As you can see, the material looks good on them. It shows no discoloration. The steels, although shiny, have no hot spots on them. So these are good to go. So we're going to stick these back in. So these plates here, these friction plates, are from a different transmission. This one, as you can see, has some lines on it still. This one's worn. And this one here, which is from the same clutch pack, is shot. As you can see, it's pretty much burnt up. These clutches here are overheated. And these clutches here are actually still good. So, hope that answers your question. And again, this is a budget job. And then finally, the end plate. And then our snap ring. Again, just lay it down in here. Screwdriver, and press it in place. The opening should be roughly 9 o'clock. Next comes our front band. Put that in there. Next is our direct clutch assembly. And freewheel. Good sound. Forward clutch assembly is next. Another good sound. Okay. Our fourth clutch assembly. Just drops in. And last but not least, our input shaft and overdrive assembly. There we go. Sometimes it takes a little fiddling, but it gets in there. Let me clean the pump up. Okay, so we have our gasket laid in place. You can see it says up there. These holes are all lined up. Let's drop our pump into place. Okay, with the pump seated, we put the bolts back in. And these bolts, you have a little O-ring type washer on them that I've replaced. We have a new seal here in the pump for the torque converter, and of course the outer O-ring has been replaced. And we just tighten them up. Play. Since we didn't change anything major, we don't have to change the end play adjustment, because we didn't do anything from this end up. Before we forget, put this O-ring on here. These bolts get torqued to 18 foot-pounds. Alright, so our fourth clutch feed bolt and our intermediate carrier feed bolt both need to be torqued at this point. There's the one, the other. Okay, so the spec for fourth clutch bolt is 12 Newton meter, 12 foot-pounds, and don't over tighten it. Intermediate assembly feed bolt is 32 foot-pounds, and I probably should put the right socket on there. Okay. Okay, so our front band apply. Just like to stick my finger in there and make sure it's actually hitting. Okay, reverse servo. Gets a new gasket. That. Servo cover. And the reverse servo cover, 18 foot-pounds. Okay, we can put our check balls in now. There's actually 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. In the wrong place. 5, 6, 7, and 8. There's a check ball location here, but it's unused. There's a screen right here, which we can just remove and replace with a new one. The body gasket goes in place next. Take our freshened up valve body. Carefully lay it in place, and don't forget to connect the spool valve, otherwise it won't work. That harness connector there. Switch assembly here. Alright, so we have pretty much all of our screws in place, so let's start running them down. Okay, so as you notice, we have one out still, so we have to put this lube tube in place. This. And this clip goes here. It's not safe. Switch assembly. Okay, all the valve body bolts have to be torqued to 116 inch-pounds. There's 21 bolts for the main valve body and then 6 for this pressure assembly. One. Don't forget to put the case connector back in place. Filter seal. New filter. These have a reusable pan gasket. Cleaned it. Finally, pan. Alright, and finally the pan bolts, 18 foot-pounds. That's it. Alright, so another project comes to a close. So, as always, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.